For the last 2 years, I watched my beloved Bangladesh suffer. Fear has entered homes, workplaces, and campuses. This is not the Bangladesh we built. This is not the Bangladesh for which 3 million people sacrificed their lives in 1971. Let me begin with the truth about July and August 2024. It was not a peaceful student movement. From the beginning, my government tried to resolve the issue peacefully through dialogue, legal process, and patience. But behind the language of reform, organized groups were working to turn students' demand into violent political instrument. In 2018, responding to student demands, we abolished the quota system. In 2024, when the High Court annulled the decision, the government appealed because we wanted to uphold the abolition. I personally took the initiative for dialogue with the students and invited them to Ganabhavan, the Prime Minister's residence. Three ministers also held discussions with them. A quota reform movement was turned into a one-point demand for my resignation. False propaganda was spread in a planned way. Genuine students were emotionally manipulated, while organized groups used their movement as cover for and violence and regime change. Muhammad Yunus himself said this was a meticulously designed movement led by a mastermind. His own words expose the truth. It was not simply a spontaneous student protest. There was no visible or responsible leadership. Instructions were given invisibly. It was organized, directed, and used to create a path to power outside the ballot box. From July 15th, the character of the movement changed. Killings, arson, attacks, and looting began. State property was destroyed. Bangladesh television was attacked and set on fire. So was different buildings like Shetu Bhavan, the Directorate General of Health Services, the EPI vaccination program building, Farmgate Metro Rail Station, flyover, Mohakali Elevator Expressway, science research facilities, the Disaster Management Office, a national database center, a COVID-19 special hospital, Bangladesh Medical University, residential hotels, industrial facilities, businesses, prisons, and including Noshingdi and other district jails were attacked, vandalized, or burned. All the terrorist criminals were released. Awami League offices were vandalized across the country. Leaders and workers were attacked and killed. Homes of ministers and senior figures associated with my government were looted and burned. The media was also targeted. Nearly 50 media center, private television stations, and newspaper offices were attacked or set on fire. Journalists were killed. Law enforcement agencies came under organized attack. Police, Sepai, the other officers were killed and their bodies were hung from flyover. Around 460 police stations were outposted or set on fire, and in some, personnel were trapped inside buildings and burnt alive. Weapons were looted. Officers were beaten to death. According to persecuted police members, at least 3,000 personnel were killed, attacked, tortured, or subjected to serious violence. A BNP leader in Sirazganj also said publicly that Enayatpur police station was burned and police were killed to make the revolution succeed. These statements show that the July August movement was not merely a quota reform movement. It became a coordinated assault on constitutional order driven by hidden instruction, organized violence, and propaganda. The conspiracy did not end on 5th August. After 5th August, violence became a campaign of political persecution. The killing that began on 16 July with the murder of Shobuz Ali, a Dhaka college student and student league activist, has not stopped. Awami League leaders and workers are being killed, disappeared, arrested, driven from their homes, and buried under false cases. At least 10,000 have been killed or disappeared. Around 650,000 have been arrested over the last 2 years. Around 3,500 cases have been filed, namely nearly 450,000 leaders, workers, and supporters are accused. More than 1 million others have been listed as unnamed accused. Against me, more than 600 cases has been filed. Women activists of Chhatro League, student organization, youth league, other affiliated organizations are facing abuse, humiliation, torture in custody. Many leaders and workers have also died in prison amid documented accounts of torture, denial of medical treatment, deprivation of food, negligence, and denial of basic rights. The persecution is not limited to the Awami League members of only. The member of minority community, judges, lawyers, intellectuals, cultural figures, journalists, professionals, workers, even rickshaw pullers, farmers, ordinary citizens have been attacked, arrested, or accused in murder cases. No one who stands for the spirit of the liberation war is safe. Symbols and memorials of our liberation war have been destroyed. Freedom fighters have been humiliated with garland of shoes. The historic residence of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the Bangabandhu Memorial Museum at Dhanmondi 32 has been attacked and demolished in phases. This is not random violence. This is an attempt to erase the spirit of the liberation war from Bangladesh. Muhammad Yunus himself spoke of pressing a reset button to whip away the country's previous history. They want to erase the liberation war, they want to erase Bangabandhu, they want to rewrite Bangladesh against the foundation on which it was born. Convicted war criminals have been released, militants and top terrorists have been freed. Even after a state election brought the BNP to power, the situation did not change. Bangladesh remains a grip of fear, terror, repression, economic hardship, and deep insecurity.